Hi, Cheryl Cook here, the Business Growth Coach. So you identified your BAP, your big ass problem. And I gave you some more alphabet that you're going to need to do in order to alter, to transform your BAP. So what is that? So we said you would need to transform your BAP using BPA. BPA is big results, productive action. So if you've heard your big ass problem described here, or maybe we're going to describe it today, it's only when you take some big results, productive action, that you're going to transform it. I'm going to show you what I mean as we talk through today. So I've got some questions here. Actually, I got a couple of questions which are similar, one from Albert and one from Adele, wanting to know how they convince the market to buy their products or services. And one was just a little different flavor. How can I expand my services into a different market? So remember that it's not about convincing the market that they need what we're offering. What's incumbent upon us to do is to figure out what our client's big ass problem is. So how will our product or service solve that problem for them? So I know, Albert, when you asked that question, you had something very specific in mind, but I know the folks that you want to reach have a problem, could potentially have a really big ass problem. And your product or service is going to solve that for them. But if we think about this from the perspective of your prospective client, if you think about what it is that they want solved, no longer are you trying to push something on them like they do on TV when they come up with a new drug or something. Well, I never even knew I had that problem before. Now I've got a drug to fix it. Well, guess what? Pharmaceutical companies have a little bit more money for advertising than you and I do. So it's much easier for us to find out what is that big ass problem that's keeping our clients, our prospective clients, awake at night, and for us to then find out where their eyeballs are and show them that we have a solution to their problem. And Adele, when you talk about moving into a different marketplace, you're doing the same thing as you're currently doing with your clients. They have a need that you can solve. It's not about convincing everyone, like if you're selling skincare products, it's not convincing everyone that has skin that they have to use your product. You want to find out what are the issues that folks have that you solve. And in the case of skincare products, if you have something that's for sensitive skin, you're not going to work with folks, try to market to folks who don't have any issues along that line. So finding out what your client's big ass problem is and helping them to understand how you can solve that problem for them is where you're going to find success. The other question that we got is from Joyce, and Joyce asks a question that I know many of you may not have thought about asking, but you probably should have, because I know I have been there, and you probably have been there as well, besides Joyce. So this is, how do you keep track of new people you meet at networking events when time gets away before you contact them again? So, you know, what I would say in this case, just remind us all that if we don't follow up with folks that we meet at networking events, we might as well have not gone in the first place. We have no hope of getting any kind of return on investment of our time if we don't ever follow up with anybody at the meetings. But I tell you what it does start with. It starts out first by making a plan. So when you first meet someone, how would you want to contact them? What would be the first step? Would it be connecting with them up on LinkedIn or Facebook or something like that? Would it be a simple email? What would be the second step? Think about the various touches the ways you might be able to touch those prospects and say, I care about you. And I want to have a relationship with you. I want to get to know more about you, and not in a fake kind of way. You and I have all been part of those, I want to get to know more about you so, we can refer business to each other. I'd say baloney to that. You want to sell me something. So what you want to do is be genuine in, I want to get to know more about you. I, in particular, love referring folks I meet to my clients. But I'm not going to do that when I've met you just one time. Just one time is not enough for me to put my reputation on the line and recommend your products or services to my clients. I have to know a little bit more about you. So it's developing a relationship over time. That's very important to me. And I would guess the same is probably true of you as well. So having that plan. Now, how do I actually do that? So there's a variety of different ways that you can use to keep track of new contacts and stay in touch with them. And I'll say for you, the one to use is the one that you use. And not to sound like I'm saying the same thing over again, but it doesn't do me any good to recommend to you one that I use if you would never ever use that software program. I in particular use Outlook. So Outlook is something I use every day. It's my email, it's my my calendar, it's my contact list. So in that contact list, I can put in notes, I can schedule future events, future follow-ups, and I can automate as much as possible all of the things within my plan to make contact with you. I want it to sound as much as if I just, on the spur of the moment, sent you an email. And so I can automate things, but I can still make it sound very, very personal. So I say to you to come up with a plan, use whether it's Outlook or maybe it's Salesforce.com. There's actually a free version of Salesforce.com. That may work for you. There's some other programs out there that are ACT, A-C-T. You can actually Google a lot of different ways to find that information out and find one that might work for you. You may work better on finding some mobile apps that may work for you. And actually, if you've got Outlook on your smartphone, that might be a solution for you, so that it works when you're on your PC and when you're on your phone. So find a way that works for you, is automated, and sounds like you, and makes the appropriate number of changes. I'll say one other thing though, in terms of wanting to follow up with folks and going, I forgot, I just got busy. I didn't make those follow-up emails like I intended to. Well, you know what? Those folks that you met, they didn't know what you intended to do. They only know when you make contact with them. So it's like I say, when I do events, I just love to give away gifts. And I do give away lots of gifts. But I felt bad when I did one of mine recently, and I thought, I really wanted to do this other thing as well. And for a moment I felt bad because I wasn't able to include that in the budget as well. But you know what? No one who attended the event ever had a clue that I wanted to do even more. So the folks that you're going to contact with, if it's been a little while and you haven't made contact with them, you can certainly tell a funny story. I have been so busy serving clients, I knew you'd understand that I hadn't gotten back to you as quickly as I wanted to, but I did want to make contact with you. So you can always spin that story. You have been busy serving clients, I hope, and not just busy with stuff on your to-do list, because we want to get that part fixed too. So again, this is another example of where you have to take big results, productive action to change your big ass problem not following up with people, not getting clients, into what you'd really like to have happen. And in fact, I'm going to introduce some more alphabet soup to you, because if you have a big ass problem, but you apply to that your big results, productive action, you are going to get ABP. And yes, I'm going to tell you what that ABP is, but I'm going to make you come back for that. So I want to talk about how we can use the alphabet soup to get the results that we want. So come back again. I'm going to tell you more about what that is and exactly how you're going to get that. This is Cheryl Cook, the Business Growth Coach. Here's to your success.